From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America. Hello and welcome to Firstpost America, your global pit stop for the latest news and headlines from the United States and around the world. I'm Eric Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. We'll get you a roundup of all the day's top stories, but first, let's take a look at the headlines. Vladimir Putin threatens NATO with severe consequences after France, Germany, and other allies urge Ukraine to strike inside Russia using Western weapons. Clashes erupt in Mexico's capital as pro-Palestinian protesters gather outside the Israeli embassy. Mexican police forces fire tear gas after demonstrators hurl rocks at officials. At least 2 people reported missing and over 7 injured after an explosion at a J.P. Morgan Chase bank in Youngstown, Ohio. The bank says the explosion occurred due to a gas leak. South Africans vote in a watershed general election as the ruling African National Congress faces a challenge to its grip on power for the first time in 3 decades. And the United Arab Emirates deploys artificial intelligence-powered robotic arms to refuel cars at gas stations. The Middle Eastern nation vows to use AI technology to boost productivity and reduce wait times. We begin in the Middle East, where Israel continues with its Rafah operation despite international outcry. Israeli tanks were seen operating on the ground in the Gaza city, and the armored vehicles were seen near the downtown area in the heart of the city, as well as on the border with Egypt. Now, tensions between Israel and Cairo remain tense after an Egyptian soldier was killed by Israeli troops late Monday. Israel continues to face diplomatic heat after an airstrike killed at least 45 Palestinians in Rafah. Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu has launched an investigation into the airstrike, calling it a tragic mishap.
On Sunday night, we eliminated senior Hamas terrorists in a targeted strike on a compound used by Hamas in Rafah. Despite our efforts to minimize civilian casualties during the strike, the fire that broke out was unexpected and unintended. This is a devastating incident which we did not expect. We are investigating what caused the fire that resulted in this tragic loss of life.
Israel says its fighter jets did not use heavy bombs that could have caused widespread fire and blamed Hamas for storing weapons and ammunition in civilian facilities.
The strike was conducted using 2 munitions with small warheads suited for this targeted strike. We're talking about munition with 17 kilos of explosive material. This is the smallest munition that our jets can use. Following this strike, a large fire ignited for reasons that are still being investigated. Our munition alone could not have ignited a fire of this size. I want to repeat it. Our munition alone could not have ignited a fire of this size. Our investigation seeks to determine what may have caused such a large fire to ignite. We are looking into all possibilities, including the option that weapons stored in a compound next to our target, which we did not know of, may have ignited as a result of the strike.
Meanwhile, Israel's biggest ally, the United States, has condemned the Israeli airstrike that killed civilian Palestinians in Rafah. However, the White House says it'll continue to support Prime Minister Netanyahu as Washington calls on Israel to limit the Rafah offensive.
We still don't believe that a major ground operation in Rafah is warranted. We still don't want to see the Israelis, as we say, smash into Rafah with large units over large pieces of territory. We still believe that, and we haven't seen that at this point. But we're going to be watching this, of course, very, very closely. As a result of this strike on Sunday, I have no policy changes to speak to. It just happened.
Now, Palestinian authorities claim that Israel carried out another strike west of Rafah, killing at least 21 on Tuesday night. However, Israel's military has denied the allegations and clarified that it has not, in fact, carried out strikes in the region since Sunday. Still, Netanyahu's operation in Rafah is only getting bigger and bolder just days after the International Court of Justice demanded an end to the Israeli onslaught. However, the international outrage over Israel's actions seems to be falling on deaf ears as Prime Minister Netanyahu appears bent on inflicting maximum casualties regardless of the collateral damage. And staying in the Middle East, a social media campaign has picked up steam in Western Europe, Australia, and India, urging the world to pay attention to Israel's offensive in Rafah. Several celebrities have shared a now viral image with the slogan that says, "All eyes on Rafah." In fact, it's been shared almost 30 million times on Instagram. However, not everyone is pleased with the celebrities speaking up. Our latest report tells you more about the viral campaign.
It seems like the world is finally speaking up against the war in the Middle East. Millions are taking part in a social media campaign that reflects the global outrage against Israel's offensive in Gaza. A viral image with the slogan "All Eyes on Rafah" is trending everywhere, from TikTok to Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. As Israeli strikes killed at least 45 Palestinians in Rafah's safe zone on Tuesday, and visuals of charred bodies surfaced on the internet, the months-long campaign picked up steam, especially in India, Australia, and Western Europe. Activists, celebrities, athletes, and influencers all came together to share the viral picture on their social media handles to condemn Israel's ground and air offensive. Reportedly, nearly 100 Indian film personalities participated in the social media campaign, including actors Priyanka Chopra, Alia Bhatt, Kareena Kapoor, and Varun Dhawan. Indian cricketer Rohit Sharma's wife also added the story to her Instagram, and all the celebrities were subjected to massive trolling as social media users accused them of not speaking up against other atrocities. Meanwhile, a number of celebrities in other countries, including Australian cricketer Travis Head, model Bella Hadid, and British actor Nicola Coughlan, shared the trending picture on Instagram. Not just celebrities, but Iran's consulates also posted the viral picture on X, as the country remains a regional rival of Israel and has always condemned its war on Gaza. The viral slogan seems to have stemmed from a comment by Rick Peepercorn, who's the director of the World Health Organization's Office of the Occupied Palestinian Territories. In February, he said "All eyes on Rafah" days after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered an evacuation plan be created for the war-torn city. The orders came ahead of planned attacks to eliminate the Palestine-based armed group Hamas. The phrase was meant to draw attention to the 1.4 million people who are sheltering in Rafah after fleeing from violent fighting elsewhere in Gaza. Since then, "All Eyes on Rafah" has been used by organizations and solidarity campaigns for Palestine, as well as in protest rallies in Paris, London, New York, Amsterdam, and beyond. Now, the image that's being used by celebrities seems to be generated by artificial intelligence. Experts say that it might be one of the first pieces of viral activist iconography created by AI. The photo includes unusual shadows, with tent camps being unnaturally symmetrical. Nevertheless, the viral photo has drawn almost 30 million shares on Instagram in less than 24 hours. And "All Eyes on Rafah" was one of the top trending hashtags on X in countries like India and Australia. Now it remains to be seen if this large-scale international outcry will affect Netanyahu, who called the recent killings a tragic mishap as he continues pounding Gaza.
And here in the United States, severe storms with damaging winds and baseball-sized hail battered central and northern Texas. The storms knocked out power for more than 1 million homes and businesses. All of this comes less than a week after deadly tornadoes ripped across northern Texas, killing at least 7 people.
Texas is one of the strange stuff. You know, it could be hot, 100 degrees, and in 20 minutes it could be 70 degrees. It changes like that. It's like it did yesterday. It was like 60 degrees, then went up about 100, and came back down with the rain.
Tuesday's catastrophic weather led to nearly 14,000 flights being delayed and over 500 cancellations in the cities of Dallas and Houston. Meanwhile, videos captured the scenes of disaster, heavy rain, and flooding. In the Houston area, 1 person died, and cars were seen crawling through flooded highways. And in Dallas, voters in the state's runoff elections found about 100 polling stations without power. Now, the National Weather Service says that May is typically the most active month for tornadoes. However, the count this year has been astounding, with almost 1,000 twisters and over 4,200 thunderstorms.
It has been a very active start to 2024. Now, even though May is typically the most active month for tornadoes, the numbers that we've seen this year, and really going back to the last week of April, have been astounding. Only equaled one other time, and that was during the historic tornado season of 2011. So over 1,000 preliminary reports of tornadoes, over 4,200 reports of damaging thunderstorm winds, large hail, and tornadoes. So just a very active start.
And Texas is not alone, as deadly storms have already caused more than a dozen deaths in Arkansas, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Missouri, North Carolina, and Virginia. Texas has also faced intense heat across the holiday weekend, with several parts hitting 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 49 degrees Celsius. Now, weather forecasters say summer-like heat will ease in Texas this week, but those left without power could still face the risk of dangerous heat stroke or heat exhaustion. And staying in the United States, Larry Connor, a billionaire from Ohio, wants to take the plunge into the deep seas to explore the Titanic shipwreck in the North Atlantic Ocean. Now, the real estate tycoon will partner with deep sea explorer Patrick Lahey for the journey. Now, Lahey is the co-founder of the Triton Submarines company, a private American firm that manufactures luxury submersibles for research, filming, and sea exploration. Connor will spend $20 million on Triton Submarines to take the billionaire almost 12,500 feet or 3,800 meters under sea level. Connor and Lahey plan to embark on an audacious journey on a brand new submersible dubbed the Triton 4000 Abyssal Explorer. The 4,000 refers to the depth in meters to which the craft will be deployed. Now, Triton Submarines claims that the Abyssal Explorer will be able to make repeated trips to the Titanic shipwreck. However, the duo says they will only undertake the journey once the submersible has been fully certified by a verified organization that oversees deep sea exploration. The concern arises because the private submarine industry has been rocked after 5 people were killed while attempting to explore the Titanic shipwreck just last year. The June 2023 accident involved OceanGate submersible Titan with 5 billionaires on board, which imploded en route to the Titanic. Now, after the vessel was recovered from the depths of the ocean, engineers and scientists said the submersible was like a mousetrap for billionaires. Connor and Lahey are hoping to learn from the previous tragedy to reshape the private submersible industry's image with another boisterous appeal for another voyage. The Ohio-based billionaire is known for being an adrenaline junkie as a professional race car driver and private astronaut. Connor is seeking a new adventure and adrenaline rush as he sets his eyes on the voyage to explore the Titanic shipwreck, knowing very well the fate of the previous attempt. Reaching billionaire status certainly comes with its level of risk, and now it appears the only risk left after making enormous sums of money is the risk to defy death. And finally, from Nigeria, the nation's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has slammed Meghan Markle for her outfit choice. This just weeks after the American actress visited the African nation with her husband, British Royal Prince Harry. Nigeria's First Lady didn't mince words as she publicly criticized Markle for showing quote-unquote nakedness during her trip. Tinubu has warned Nigerian women against copying American celebrities and asked them to preserve Nigeria's cultural practices. Our final report unpacks the criticism lobbed at the Duchess of Sussex.
Former British royal family members Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's recent trip to Nigeria caused a stir for all the right and wrong reasons. It was their first official foreign tour since ditching their royal titles, so everyone was watching to see how it would go. And oh, did things go awry, especially with Meghan Markle's outfit choices. While many might have moved on, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu definitely hasn't. Tinubu took a not-so-subtle jab at Meghan Markle recently. Speaking at an event marking her husband's first year in office, she implied that nakedness is a no-go in Nigeria. She slammed the skimpy outfits often donned by American film stars. And who could she be talking about but the suit star who just spent 3 days in Nigeria? Tinubu turned her speech into a stern warning to Nigerian women. She declared that they shouldn't lose themselves by imitating American celebrities, taking aim at Hollywood's racy fashion influence. The First Lady encouraged teenagers to dress modestly and to ignore the barely there styles made popular by US stars. This was probably a dig at the sleeveless dress that Meghan wore to a Muslim school, which many found inappropriate. Tinubu even went on to say that Nigeria was not hosting the Met Gala, pointing out the double standard where men are well-dressed while women show too much skin. The First Lady made it clear that nakedness was not part of Nigeria's culture. However, Tinubu later confirmed she was indeed referring to Meghan Markle. Markle had claimed during her visit that she's 43% Nigerian, to which Tinubu questioned, and I quote, "Why did Meghan come here looking for Africa? That is something we have to take home with us. We know who we are. Don't lose who you are." Social media lit up with criticism after seeing Meghan Markle's outfits in Nigeria. Some said her choice of expensive and revealing clothes was inappropriate, while others called for more modesty. Fashion experts said Markle showed too much skin in a country where over half the population is Muslim. As of now, neither Meghan Markle nor her representatives have commented on this.
That's our show for today. We certainly thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you right back here again tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden. How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.